Hi, and welcome back to Beyond the Monsters. Today we have a special episode. We have Michael here, Ty, and Melissa, and they've had an amazing kind of just I don't even know how to describe it, a whirlwind insanity, but in good ways. Yes. Too. Good and
that's a good way of putting it.
Yeah, we'll just leave it at that. All right, and then I'll let you guys go from there if you want to introduce yourselves and talk about Testify to Love a little bit.
Tell me, is there room for me to cry? Is the devil all inside my mind? I don't want to die like this. I want to live my life.
Gentlemen?
We'll just go with it, guys.
Okay, I'll start.
All right.
My name is Michael Passons. I was just saying I'm known as that blonde guy from that group in the 90s.
Great band name.
So that's going to be my new band name.
Yes,
That blonde guy from that group. And in 1995, I helped start a band called Avalon, which was in Christian music genre. And I stayed there for 8 years. And along the way, the last year of me being in that group, I met Melissa Greene.
It was a quartet. We should clarify for those that are listening that maybe have no idea.
Yes.
I love it when we can introduce who Avalon actually was. Yeah, it was a quartet, 2 guys and 2 girls. I joined in 2002 and got to spend 8 months with Michael on the road. Okay. That's our background. And along the way, our dear friend, P.S. I'm Melissa Greene. I'm a dear friend of Shell's and a dear friend of these gentlemen across the way.
And then Blake Shelton came into the... no, I'm just kidding. Not Blake, no. They met this old country boy. It was way too much. But I'm Ty Herndon, and these are my friends. And we are... the Pentatonics.
Ty Herndon, country music star extraordinaire. Yes.
So how did you meet them?
Well, it's really kind of cute. I met Michael through mutual friends.
Okay.
You know, it's a small gay community. Oh, did I just out you? No, the world knows now.
You're a little
Yes,
late.
these
You're
two
late there.
Don't tell anybody.
By the way, with all this craziness, they have us married. They have these guys married.
Yeah.
We're married to. I'm married to Alex. Ben is married to Melissa, and he's looking. So
Yes.
I can't even imagine all the offers you've been getting lately.
I have gotten a few.
I'm sure.
And most of them don't even live on this continent. So there's a
Darn
little
it.
bit of a problem there.
Yeah. You have to do some traveling.
it's been beautiful offers, wonderful testimonies, and mean comments.
Yes.
So we don't address the mean comments because those people are suffering and they have pain in their eyes.
Yes.
And so,
Oh, shoot. Sometimes I do. But
I know. Yeah. But
No,
yeah.
sometimes I meet them with love, and sometimes I meet them with, that's enough. Mama's here, that's enough.
I have seen you post, that's enough. And I love
enough.
it.
Yeah.
Well, I think also we'll give this only a moment.
Yes.
You know, I think also if I feel like there's a tiny bit of truth and there's pain there, it's worth addressing.
Sure.
But if I feel like they're just being assholes,
Yeah.
you know,
Right.
then my country redneck pig farmer butt's going to come right back on you for 2 seconds, and then you're blocked. You know,
Then you're
you don't
done.
get a chance
Right.
to have a voice here.
Right.
Yeah,
Because
you
clearly
lose
don't have
the
a voice
privilege
for yourself. Yeah.
You
Right.
lose the privilege at some point.
When you find your voice for yourself, there be a shift in you.
Yes.
When the truth moves in. And the true meaning of God for me, and come at me with that, I'd love it. The true meaning of God is love. And so, but this whole thing, I mean, my little 10-year-old preacher in this book, we'll talk about that later. Let's stop looking at me. This little 10-year-old preacher in me, first chapter of this
did
book.
it on the unicorn too.
Right,
I
yes.
love it. Good luck.
Perfect.
If you would have told me just a short year ago that there was still a voice left in him for something that I had come to peace with internally and with my God a long time ago.
Okay.
This has been an eye-opening experience of a little bit more freedom because I've seen all these people have freedom that I really, truly, I grew up in a beautiful family that never judged, you know, they didn't, I mean, my God, I'm running around the front yard when I'm 8 years old with a mop on my head. I thought I was going to be a hairdresser probably, who knows, but
Right.
freedom to fly within the family and just love me anyway.
Yeah.
Wrote a song about it. But I've got the gift of gab. I'm just going to say this because these guys have such beautiful stories. But this has been a moment that I didn't expect in my life that actually has changed something in me. And it's made my views of God, my views of faith. So they're already strong. I've been through a lot, but it gave even some of my stuff a voice.
Okay.
And so if I'm going to speak at you, it's usually going to be in love. But if you're going to come at me with something that's not of that,
Right.
I'm going to shut you down or become that little 10-year-old preacher. And he's pretty nice most days.
So speaking of that, can you guys take us down, just so the audience knows, you guys redid Testify to Love.
Yeah, I was going to say, I feel like we need to do a
Explain-
bird's eye view really fast.
And
just
then,
because-
and then kind of go back and we'll say how it all came
Yes.
about, like the history
Which
of everything.
we're so grateful to be here with you, first of all. So thank
Yeah.
you for
Thank
having
you,
us
Sue.
Love it.
on this
I'm glad
podcast.
you're
The
here.
interviews and whatnot that we've done thus far in the last 3 weeks have been predominantly people who know this story, who know this background. And I'm going to just assume that a lot of your listeners have no idea who we are or
That's
what we're
perfect.
talking about and
Yes.
why.
That's okay.
Yeah, no, we
Yes.
love
Yes.
it.
They're
We
gonna
love
know
it.
now. They're gonna know now.
But I think the bird's eye view, and then we'll get into the details and the history. But so Michael and I were in a Christian group together, contemporary Christian group. He started it in the late 90s. I joined in 2002. So we're talking about this
And
group,
they were
Avalon.
huge, by the way.
Yeah, in Christian music, we were sort of the darlings of Christian music, honestly, for a lot, maybe not for all, but for a lot. So it was very popular. So a song came out called Testify to Love, and it was a #1 hit then. And then here we
Anthem.
are
Yes.
20 years later, 19, how many years?
It's since Testify to Love came out, it's
Yeah.
been almost 29 years.
29 years later.
Yeah.
We have re-released
Wow.
the song, but we have re-released the song with Michael and Ty, who are out gay men, claiming in fullness who they
Excuse
are.
me, Melissa. I'm a vegetarian.
And I'm an ally.
Yes,
And
you
so
are.
that is what we're talking about, is this song and the impact that it's now making. And so we're happy to now share the history, but at least that's the context. That's why we're
Yes.
talking about comments and rude comments, but how many beautiful comments,
Yeah.
which are more
Oh,
overwhelming
there's so
than
many
the
I can't even
rude.
get to them.
Yeah.
Yes.
The platform that it's given pain and loss a voice to say this happened to me, and it's never been okay to talk about it. And what's beautiful is I can't get through 3, and I get the Holy Spirit and I start crying and I pray for it's the truth, And,
Well, every
but-
single time I hear the song, even if it's on a reel or whatever, I've even sent you pictures. I have goosebumps everywhere every single time. It's just,
I
I'm gonna cry. It's just so beautiful.
I
It's
do
so
believe in the
beautiful.
power of music, and there are songs out there that are anointed. And we were so happy to hear from all the songwriters, that their true message of this song was love.
Okay.
And for this man, who it was then, it was love.
Yeah.
But having to live behind a curtain is painful, especially when the stakes are that high.
Michael, can you take us down that road? a
Yeah.
little bit, if you feel like sharing.
Certainly.
Okay.
Me, like all 3 of us, were raised in a very conservative Christian environment, evangelical environment. I was raised in rural central Mississippi. And so that's how I was raised. You are instilled certain values when you come from that type of community. And one of those was you can't be gay.
Right.
And so you learn early on in life how to protect yourself, how to read a room, all the things that you have to do. And one of those is that you keep this to yourself. You're not truthful about this because there are many consequences. And along the way, the whole part of my life, there would have been consequences. I would have been thrown out of my university had I been truthful because I went to a Christian college. Just all these things. I would have never gotten the opportunity to be in Avalon. And so that part of my life was hidden. And so when I was asked to help start a group in 1995, with EMI Records here in Nashville, that was just something that was buried deep inside of me. And I thought about it all the time. It wasn't like it was not in my mind every single second. And, I was kind of late to, I was older when I got my record deal. Most people kind of start in their late teens or 20s. I was 30 when I got my record deal.
We
And
were both 30. I got mine when I was 30.
and so I was single, not dating. And so once you begin to be in the spotlight, you start to be under more scrutiny as well. And so people would begin to make their assumptions about my personal life. And that along the way, those assumptions became rumors, and those rumors then grew and grew until it had to be a conversation with my now very successful group. 7 years down the road, we had become very successful in our genre. We had gold records and Grammy nominations and American Music Awards, and we were at the top of our game. And now I'm being called on the carpet and like, who are you? Is this true? And that's when it came down to, in June of 2003, I was asked to leave the group I helped start because of my identity. And that started a long road of some depression, traumatic, post-traumatic stress syndrome. But in the end, it started me down a road to be at this moment right now. And so it's interesting. 20 something years later, I can look back and kind of be grateful for the way things happened.
You survived what I call these days, who you are, the beautiful part of who you are, should never be diagnosed as cancer. And being asked to go to conversion therapy is, you don't have cancer, so why am I going to chemotherapy? And so... Yeah,
that was what part I left out. Yeah. I was required to go to conversion therapy as a condition to stay in the group. And so
this was earlier than that June.
Yeah, it was about a year before I left the group that I knew that would not work. I knew that was not a thing because I had put myself through conversion therapy when I was in my 20s, thinking it might work.
Right.
So I knew from that experience, it's bullshit.
Right.
But
the number of times that I think a lot of gay men and women who know Christ have been on the floor of a church or in the closet or on just the living room floor begging God to take this out of you, begging God to heal you from the beautiful thing He made you. Is astounding to me, because the number of days that I cried on the floor, God, I can't love you because you didn't make me this way. This is a choice I made. And coming to the realization that for where you are right now, was beautifully designed and perfectly placed. And it is the most beautiful thing about my life. It's the most beautiful thing about Michael's life. Right now, this isn't a moment. This is his journey. Right. This is a launching pad of where he's going to go. It's up to him. It's up to Melissa. It's up to me. Becoming the boss of your own life with Christ at your side is a beautifully powerful thing. It's humbling. I'm going to be the first one to cry. It's
okay. Tissues right there.
It's a miracle.
Yeah,
it is, because we are not broken. We are not monsters. We are healers. We are bringers of joy. We are bringers of truth. Whew. We're just perfect. Yeah. So, I didn't mean to interrupt you, but it was, please continue. It just hit me.
No, it's beautiful.
You could fill an ocean with the tears of every LGBT person who has cried themselves to sleep, not wanting to be this way. And so for anyone who isn't gay or bi or trans or lesbian, this is not a choice. It's as much a choice as it was for you to be straight. And so it's in certain societies, certain cultures, certain orbs, it's a very scary thing to realize that moment, probably when you're in adolescence. Oh my gosh, I'm different, and I'm this kind of different, and oh my goodness, what am I going to do? How am I going to survive? And so,
and that your child is terrified.
Yeah, you grow up terrified.
Never be terrified to come to you with
you learn some really good survival skills early on in life.
Yeah, and that's just so sad. What you're saying is so true, because so many people don't understand that. If they're not walking it and living it, they don't get it. And that's so sad, because people are struggling because they're afraid to say anything.
And if I'm now out and loud and proud, it's not because it's not a flippant decision. It's not a flippant lifestyle change that I've made. I've gone through years and years and years of critical thinking and soul searching to come to the place where I am good with who I am.
And I can't wait to hear the songs you're going to write.
Oh, I've already got them. You want to hear them now? Give me a C chord. Actually, you said "Not Broken." That's a song I've written. I wrote, "You can't fix what's not broken. You can't heal a heart that's whole." And so it's these last few weeks have been very interesting for me. For your listeners that may not know, when we released the new "Testify to Love" in May 15th. For lack of a better word, it just went viral, and we were not expecting it. And just everywhere you look. So my social started blowing up, and all of our socials started blowing up. And with 95% beautiful, wonderful, affirming comments.
That's what counts.
Well, you're always going to get shitheads.
Yeah.
There's always that little percentage, no matter what you're doing, you know?
No doubt.
I can't tell you how many times I'm responding and I'm like, delete. Okay. Because people are just nasty sometimes.
I actually put one in chat GPT just for the fun of it. And even the chat said, not worth your time.
You talked to Chat too. I talked to Chat. And you know what she told me? I heard, I think someone told me they asked Chat if are a guy or girl, and they came back, I'm a girl, so we're going to call her.
I like it.
She. I asked Chat how I should respond to some of this stuff. And Chat came back and said, you reclaiming this song is your response. And so, okay, girl.
Okay, Chat. That's beautiful.
I think Chat's a Christian. I think true meaning. I think she's a good girl.
Hilarious. I'm just thinking. Oh,
Go ahead. No,
I was just thinking. I as an ally, but two, as someone who worked in the church, specifically. I was a part of Avalon for close to 7 years. Prior to that, I toured with another traveling Christian music group. After that, I ended up working at a church, became ordained as a reverend, and effectively towards the end of my time there, I was there 8 these two over here, you can't take them anywhere.
We're trying to be so discreet.
I was at the church for 8 years and effectively ended up co-pastoring there. So I say all of that to talk about my journey as working in these Christian spaces. What I've found, and I've been out of that space now for 10 years, but what I've found, and when I think about these two and their personal stories and all the stories that are coming out, and that we'd heard before now, but they're coming out in droves in light of the song coming out again, is that the churches in which we grew up in, like it's, I don't want to put a blanket statement. I'm very anti-blanket statements unless we're talking about everybody is magical and worthy. That's my blanket statement I'll stick with. But otherwise, I like to get into particulars. So, but in particular places, in church settings and religious settings, I have found that we are not... So they just proved with their part of their story, like they were not allowed to trust themselves and trust their body. And I, as a straight, white girl, was also not taught to trust my body. We were taught to assimilate into the fold. Like you're supposed to be a part of this one thing and you're supposed to think all exactly the same and believe all exactly the same. And in the midst of that, you're not taught to trust yourself. And I feel like my adult journey, and especially in the last 15, 20 years, has been learning to trust myself, learning to trust my intuition, learning to know that this body, she is good too. And I shouldn't dislike her and I shouldn't not trust her. And so I'm seeing that in part of their story coming out. Like the church was also trying to assimilate them. Like, you're not supposed to be this thing. You're supposed to be this other thing. Make us all look the same. And so for the sake of unity, we've let go of the beauty of our diversity and all the things that we bring to the table, which I think is what makes the humanity so great and lovely, are the ways in which we are unique and our specialness. And I think we have our own individual magic to bring to the table and to this world.
Beautiful tapestry.
Yeah. And so I'm just noticing, like, I have a lot of critiques of that part of the church, like a lot of them, because they are, painting, this broad stroke, and it's hurting all of us, but many of us in worse ways than others. And so,
wow, I had a comment the other day. How can you, as a gay man, sing a Christian song like that? And I said, can you tell me 3 of your worship songs? I did come back with this.
Good.
And the church, I said, and go research them. He didn't come back. Of
course.
But I said, probably 50% of your amazing worship songs that you stand up and sing every day and you got your hands up to heaven were written by gay men or lesbian women because they're that in touch with what worship feels and looks like. I'm not saying that there's not straight people who are. I met allies, you know. I just don't like labels, you know. And I'm not talking about record labels, y'all. I'm just talking about
right.
That's why, you know, 3 days after I came out, you know, I was so struggling with just, why do I have to do this?
When did you come out?
2014.
2014.
Yeah.
And you were already in your career, I'm assuming.
And then adding the pressure, you'll be the first successful gay man to come out. And I'm like, well, thoughts that run through my head. Am I going to, you know, annihilate my fan base? You know, but this is what became more important. That I live in these blood and bones in peace.
Right.
That it's not causing a trauma so deep that it's going to kill me. And I had to come to rest with that. I had to be okay with it. So when I sat down with ET, it's just kind of what I said, you know, hey, you know, I'm just a country boy from Alabama, and you know, I just love differently, but I love the same.
Right.
And the first show back, you know, it's probably sold out. And I walked up to the microphone. They've heard me tell this story, but it's really kind of how I feel about it. I walked to the microphone and I said, well, I guess you guys all heard the big news, before I sang a note. And it was like, what was he going to say? I said, I'm a vegetarian. I'm not really. I mean, I just, you know, it was just, it was something to make you laugh because this is so insignificant. You know, I'm here to sing you country songs and make your life better through music. Right. And that's still my recipe. That's why I do it. This has been really special because I got to do it on a different level. We walked out to CMA Music Fest. We started the song a cappella, and it was one of the biggest crowds of the day.
Did you?
And
yes,
and it felt so real. And you know, when this is something I observed, because in the country fans, the people that are there, they're usually, you know, they're singing along. Their attention spans all over the place, you know, maybe a little drunk, you know. And but I noticed when we started singing "Testify to Love," everybody was looking forward. They were looking straight ahead, and I feel quite certain they weren't looking at us. It's the power of the song.
Absolutely.
It's just like lightning bolts that go out because we're hungry for love right now. We're hungry for a message of hope, and that's what this is. We hit a vein of a lot of hurt, right. And it was kind of like an antibiotic. You know, it just
that's a good way to put it.
Just flowing through people and bringing what we should be bringing every day. Instead of spewing hate and you're not okay and you're awful. Guys, we're just doing the best we can to get through the day usually. Yeah. And you know, we don't need all the noise. Right. And the noise is my point is this is making the noise less. And for people who don't like it, it's making a loud noise in their lives, not ours. That's as wise as I'm going to get today.
I love it.
I'm just curious to know, because I know you and I know you're a fiercely loyal friend, like ally, everything. When you go back to when Michael was kicked out, how did you feel back then?
So back then,
because you were still like involved, and even after that, you became a pastor.
Yes. So again, back then I held a very limited, a limiting faith, if you will. So I had long held beliefs because they were ingrained in me based off of growing up in this church, in contemporary Christian spaces, in an evangelical church. I was in a Southern Baptist megachurch. Like that's how I spent my whole childhood. Woo. And then went to a Pentecostal college, which did burst my Baptist bubble, but it still was a limited faith. And honestly, especially I went to Lee University over in Cleveland, Tennessee, a couple hours down the road, and was surrounded by gay men that I fell in love with, honestly, became my dear friends.
Worship songs.
Literally, like some of the best singers and some of my closest friends, and they were in all the choirs, and, you know, none of them out, of course. They weren't allowed to be out. But that was when I started living alongside people that I understood the fullness of who they were did not fit into this limited faith. And so what do I do with that? So I didn't make big changes in college, but it did start to open me up. So in the meantime, I left college to sing in a group called Truth. And then 2 years later was asked to be in Avalon. So the whole time I'm traveling and I start to just expand, I realize that everything needs to expand a little bit more because, and I said this the other day in another interview, like my theology and my long held doctrines were so clear. It was given like, this is what it is. But life kept butting up against my life experiences, my travel of the world, my experiences with people alongside me kept butting up against that. And I either had to decide I will just hunker down and believe these things and have to ignore all of this, or I can be curious about all of this and start to lean into it and see if my faith shouldn't be shaped differently. And my choice was to start to expand. So I wish that it had expanded further sooner, honestly, because I was in the group when Michael was asked to leave. And I held those same beliefs, though. I loved him dearly. And we've talked about this a lot. But my faith had no room for thinking that he would still be and should still be in a ministry position. And I would have believed that of any person that was gay at the time. So my heart was broken because I didn't know how to reconcile the two. And so I sat in the meeting and we've done a couple podcasts where he's gone into it in detail, but I was in the meeting in his house when he was asked to leave and I just sat there sobbing, again, just not knowing how to reconcile it all and loving my friend, but not knowing where I should place him, and place this part of his life. So when we did that and he was asked to leave, all of a sudden our friendship sort of closed. He needed to care for himself and we were continuing on with Avalon. And I stayed in Avalon for the next 6 years or 5 years, 5.5 years. But I continued to change, thank God, and truly, and shift. And I remember towards the end of my time in Avalon, I had lost my brother-in-law to cancer. He was 32 at the time, and losing him and being that close to death has a way of either, again, making you hunker down and try to ignore everything, or have to be open that the possibilities of the way that I viewed God and the world might need to change. And I chose to change. I chose to open up. And so because of that, I was voting for Obama at the time, which is so silly to even name, but I was doing that on behalf of the civil liberties of my gay friends. And I didn't have a way to reconcile my theology, but I knew enough. I'd changed and opened enough to say I will stand on behalf of that. And doing that while I was in Avalon was a huge deal. I was the black sheep of the group because I was leaning liberal, which is whatever. So anyways, I leave Avalon in 2009 and then stepped into the church, and it ended up being what I called a thinking church, people willing to ask questions, willing to consider new ways, again, to view God. And then eventually we leaned into being a fully progressive church, a fully liberal post-evangelical church here in the heart of Williamson County in Tennessee, which is a real conservative place. And because of that, we went fully inclusive, meaning we made a statement eventually in 2015 that we would be LGBTQ fully inclusive, meaning there was no limitations. If you were gay, and not just gay and hiding it, but truly out, as a trans person, as a lesbian, as a bisexual, whatever, there were no limitations on how you could be involved in the community. You can come here and love the Lord
and be loved.
Yeah, yes. We'll love you.
You were a light in that church, by the way.
Thank you.
You were a light in that church, and I credit you as being a pioneer in so many ways. You are my friend, yes, but you were a light in that church.
Well,
I went there for a while.
Yeah,
I did, and you were a true pioneer, and just being the greatest human. It's not that hard, guys.
Yeah.
Thank you for that. I appreciate it. And I've made plenty of mistakes along the way. And that's why I'm so grateful to be able to talk about the mistakes. We're so afraid to talk about how we were wrong or how we've changed. Right? The more authentic we can be about naming the ways in which we've changed or expanded or grown, which means we've made mistakes. For me, I've made mistakes along the way, and I'm not afraid to say that. Right. And I think there should be no fear in owning that. I'm just one of those people that I hope that we are all habitual learners. We keep growing, we keep learning. I do not believe we're ever going to get to the point where we're okay, finally, even now I'm we've got it all right. No, we don't think we have it all right. We don't have it all figured out. But I think that's the beauty. I think that's why, I hope that's why I think this moment is being so, it's impacting people so much, is because they're watching us live, not perfectly, they're watching us live authentically. And I think that gives permission for others, not because we have some power to do it, but I think when any of us lives authentically, you're giving permission for the person next to you to do it as well. And I think that's what the world needs more of.
We all get a lot of Instagram messages, but that is one theme that I see being most common. People are messaging me saying, I now feel free or the courage to at least begin living authentically.
Right.
And so that is a wonderful affirmation for us to hear that from other people, that this song isn't just about us singing a song and reclaiming it for ourselves, but it's got the power to do that for other people.
Love and faith is contagious. Hate is not.
Yes.
It's
I can't imagine how you feel right now, most of all, just because
I've said that so many times. That's Michael today.
it's just
He does call me. They both call me, but he'll say, how are you doing today? How are you doing today? Because it has been such a whirlwind of emotions.
I can't imagine how you felt after you had to leave Avalon and everything, depression, all the senses of self and everything you could imagine.
Tell them about going for a run.
Yeah.
I love
Did
the
you
story.
keep going through that like until recently? Did this change everything for you, or were you already there throughout all these years?
Already where?
Like to the point where you're like, all right, we are like a family.
No, that took a long time.
Okay.
So that moment back in early 2003, we were preparing for our fifth, sixth studio album.
Okay.
We had been in meetings to pick all the songs. I actually co-wrote the title track, The Creed. That was the name of that next record. And right before we went into the studio is when all of this happened. Like we were about to go into the studio and start this record, and there I go. And so that was one reason I had to let go of Melissa for a while, because it was a painful place for me to be, to see them moving on, and I was left at the bus stop. You know, and so so I'm very glad that our journeys started moving parallel at some point without maybe either one of us realizing it, and that our paths crossed again in a beautiful way.
How did you get through that though? Like I said, I can't imagine how depressing that would be, and every feeling you could imagine. How did you, like me, I think I would want to crawl in a hole and stay there. Like, how did you get yourself out of that? Because there's so many people out there that are in that position now with their families, their friends, whoever it might be. How did you pull yourself out of that? I'm sure it's not a cut and dry answer,
right.
but
I've always had the strength of my family and the values that they've instilled in me along the way. And I believe that was a lot of it, because there is probably a parallel universe version of me that may not be here because it was that devastating.
right.
But it was, I just never lost faith that in a creator, that God would get me through this, even though there was a big dent. There was a big collision and a big dent in how I thought about God. But I never lost my faith in God. It just, my view of God just changed. And thank goodness that collision opened up my view of God, that God is so much bigger. And eventually that is what pulled me through, along with wonderful friends, wonderful family.
That's beautiful.
I stayed basically officially closeted even years after that, because the official statement from the group was Michael was moving on to pursue other musical opportunities. And so, I was asked to sign an NDA. And so that was how it moved forward from there. So I really stayed buried publicly for many years. And it wasn't until 2020. Okay, so that was 2003. So now we're at 2020. I'm asked to do a podcast just out of the blue as a favor to a friend. Okay. And I had never done a podcast before in my life. And I'm like, I was driving to the studio in Franklin, Tennessee here. It was a guy out of LA. His name is Josh Skinner, and he has a podcast called Jonah and the Well. And if you Google Michael Passons, Jonah and the Well, it is still available to listen to. And that's when I came out, and I had no plan to. I went in the studio, I sat down, he started asking me questions, and there was a question that he asked, and I said, you know, Josh, this is what happened. And I just spilled the beans. And that's when I officially came out. And about a week later, a guy from Billboard magazine called, said, I heard that podcast. I want to do an article on you. And so that's when it kind of went everywhere. You know, People, Entertainment Tonight, and Billboard were all picking up a story, a 20-year-old story that I thought really no one would have interest in, but they did. And so the night before the
star
article,
of the group just disappears.
Hey,
Yeah.
velvet voice.
I was on the phone with my family the night before the Billboard article came out because I wanted them to hear it from me and not read it. So I was coming out to my family in that kind of urgent mode of like, hey, before you hear it from anyone else. And, you know, my parents are gone. I didn't have the ability to tell them while they were living, even though my mother would bait me. She would say, Michael, I love you so much. You know, there's nothing that would make me not love you. She respected me enough to let it be my decision. And I never did tell her. I never gave her the opportunity to show the fullness of her love to me. So that is a big regret.
She's all over this.
Yeah. But I was telling my siblings, and they said, oh, we know. We've always known.
You keep a really clean house.
And they love me, you know.
Yes.
If I were to sit them both down and really press them, I'm not sure what they might really internally believe. But at the end of the day, they love me, and that's all I need. That's all I need. So
It's beautiful.
I think there'll be a lot of people surprised when they see us sitting next to Jesus. What y'all doing out there? I'm not judging. No, man, you carried a legacy for that group. I mean, you set 7 albums? How many albums?
almost
7, yeah,
until I got kicked out.
that's when the record sales went down.
You're right, actually. You're actually right.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, man, it was,
You know,
but fear did
there
that.
could have been some people that may have stopped listening specifically because of that. But I will say one thing that damaged the group was the fact that the sound kept changing. You know, because there is a sound when 4 people sing together. And then that's what people love, and it becomes endearing to them, and it's familiar. But Avalon kept changing members, and the sound kept changing. And I think at some point, certain fans may be like, well, I'm just kind of not going to, invest in this because it just keeps changing.
I would like to point out, though, and I didn't know this about the Avalon movement. There were probably millions of young people that were, this was probably one of 3 albums they were allowed to buy.
Sure.
Yeah.
So they knew every word, every song, they knew the sound. And that's I think also part of the nerve that was hit because they spent time with you as a kid.
And I've learned just how many in these past 4 weeks. A lot of 90s kids who are now in their 30s and 40s have let us all know that this is the music they grew up on. This is what reminds them of their formative years. They could sing every word in their sleep.
I don't know if you put this together. Maybe I'm just late to the party here, but I can't imagine being that kid, knowing this about myself, and hearing one song that says, you're going to be okay. And it might be the only song in their darkness because they believed this what these words were about. I have a feeling it saved a lot of lives. Even
I have more than a feeling. I've got it in writing in my Instagram messages of people telling me they were abused by family members as a kid, and they would go into their room to hide after it was over, and they would listen to our voices. And that's what got them through. And you live 20 something years and not knowing that that's what was happening at that moment. You just leave thinking, oh, I'm gone. People are out of sight, out of mind. But you don't realize the honor you had to be that in someone else's life. And so to me, that's worth everything.
What does that feel like to you guys? No, I mean, I can't wait for everybody to hear you guys sing this song because it's just absolutely beautiful. I've heard both versions now, but what's it feel like? Like, what does it feel like to have that much impact in all these lives? Like, it's so beautiful.
I mean, it's an honor, honestly. I think we feel so honored. And there aren't, I'll just speak for me, I don't know that there is another song that I sang with Avalon that I would re-record again today. Like, I don't think there is. This song in particular, and we keep going back to really wanting to honor the songwriters, and they've now been in contact with us. Michael's on constant contact with them through social media
Just
now.
this morning, another one emailed me again saying, I just love it. I just love it. You guys are doing such a great job.
It's 4 men, all of them out of Sweden.
You know, Netherlands, I'm not
sorry.
sure if
Forgive me.
I know they're not all living there now.
Okay.
That is a good question. I need to figure that out. But they're all European guys. And
They wrote in the early 90s. But this song, and again, for anyone that's listening now that hasn't heard it yet, it is just a song about the broad, vast scope of the love of God and wanting to live a life that testified, that talks about that literally lives into that. Like, that is the message of the song. So that's a song that honestly, and I'll say this for me, it reaches beyond Christianity. It happened to be a Christian song, and that's because Christian artists claimed it as ours. So it became well known as Avalon, but then Winona Judd sang it on Touched by an Angel, right? She recorded
she
it.
did.
So some people thought Winona was the first one, but technically Avalon was.
people would show up at our concerts and say, I love that Winona song you did. No. Here's how it went down.
We did it first. But Winona does a beautiful job on it.
She does. Amazing.
But she gave it a broader context. And so there's something in these lyrics that's just powerful that, again, that the world desperately needed then. And obviously desperately needs now. And so we're so we did it. And we talked about this on other podcasts too. Like, we did it, and Ty extended the opportunity with his record label to bring Michael in to have a reclaiming moment for him, to be able to literally stand up and record. This is the first time he's recorded in how many years?
23 years.
23 years.
Yeah.
Michael and I got to sing backup for Ty. So Ty did another Avalon song, actually, that I love. That's another song I'd sing again and continue to sing again, called Orphans of God. But he re-recorded that with Kristen Chenoweth. It's a duet. Michael and I did sing BGVs on that, and we're honored to do that.
Co-headlined. You co-headlined.
We co-headlined. But for Michael to do a solo, like to actually sing as a soloist again. And so for Ty to extend this opportunity, and then he brought me in to do the BGVs, and then we brought a choir in, an all LGBTQ choir. It was just lovely, but we were doing it for us. And so I'm going back to just naming, we knew we were putting out a record. We knew that we were sending it to radio. We knew that we were going to do a remix. We knew that we were doing a video, but like, there was no grand plan that this was going to have this huge impact that it has. And so there's something about, and this is just something I learned along the way, like, when you know that it's the right thing to do and you do it, it makes the broader impact, right? And so I think we're just sitting back here, back to your question, like, just honored that us living our truth has allowed others to feel permission to live their truth. I mean, we're back to that again, and to talk about our healing, you know?
Well, and it makes it even deeper if people can know the history and like what happened, because hearing you guys sing it and not like knowing the history, it's just, you can hear it in your voice. You know what I mean? You know that that's true passion and true love.
He didn't play when he came in the studio. He came to reclaim.
Yes.
I think there was one moment I said, you can go up to that other note, going up there. But he
was maybe goosing me when I did it, but I made that high A.
You did make that high A.
I will say that what Melissa was talking about, we landed #1 on the Christian charts with this one within a matter of days. But I just want to make it clear, it is not my intention, probably not these people's intention to do a contemporary Christian music song. That's not my intention to get back in that genre. It just, because of the powers that be in streaming and the algorithms, that's just where it landed on that chart. When you talk about God, I guess that's where that's the category that the industry will put you in. And so we're grateful, but I just want to be clear, that's not my intention, is to be part of that genre.
Downloads of healing pushed it to the top.
Yeah.
I mean,
Well, I think
that's just the way it is.
Healing for trauma.
Healing and love.
Because I think that's why, God, I'm emotional today. I think that's why it even hits me, because like when my first husband died when I was only 25 years old and I was left with 2 babies and all the things,
Child.
I believed in God before that, but not after. I'm like, how could there be a God? And I went through so much hell. And then, I meet this amazing man and he's wonderful and I have a family and you just take him from me. So for a long time, I wouldn't go to church. I wouldn't do it. I mean, I grew over the years since then. But for me, hearing that song, I think of that's deep for me, like in my trauma.
Universal.
Yes. Yes. Not. So I see what you mean with the algorithm and everything, but it's just so deep. I think it's wonderful for anyone, especially if you have trauma, which most of us have some kind of trauma. Yeah. It's so powerful and so beautiful.
What's the number one thing besides a higher power that has healed you? It's been love, right? I'm not putting words in your mouth.
No, absolutely. Absolutely.
Love doesn't have a sex or a race or a political standpoint. It is one of the true things we have.
Right.
And this song screams it.
Absolutely.
It screams it for everyone.
Yes.
But it was beautiful to see. I think for Melissa and I both, to see him fly again, because, his wings are much bigger than this. But but the man was sitting, we do what we do to survive, working a job. And our last and final year of our concept for love and acceptance, our 10-year, he was kind of the finale. He said, "You finally asking me?"
Shell was there.
Okay, we were trying to
You
figure
were
out
there,
which
yeah.
one
Yeah, we
I
were
was
talking.
at.
Yeah, you were there.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yes.
So it was a year ago.
Yep.
This is June 2026. So it was a year ago this month that Ty had his last CMA event, which was Concert for Love and Acceptance. It's a very inclusive concert. And it was your
We're coming
10th
back
year.
with more. It was just the last for that.
And he finally asked, we've been friends for 20 years.
Yeah.
He finally asked me to sing.
I honestly didn't know that he wanted to sing again. But that night.
Well, that's fair, because there was a time in that 10 years I probably didn't want to.
Right.
Yeah.
When I met Michael, I had been to an Avalon concert. I'd been to a Truth concert. I'd been to these things, and these guys were like, heroes to me. And I of course, my little closeted butt had a crush on Michael, because it was like, stop it.
He cute.
Somebody give me tickets to Avalon. But I love this story. We became friends through mutual friends. They were also friends. We were at dinner, and I thought they were coming to get my autograph, and so I'm, getting my Sharpie out. And, they walked up to him and goes, "Are you Michael from Avalon?" Asked for his autograph. And
I did enjoy that moment, actually.
It was wah for me, but that night, my manager and I were standing inside of the stage, and the Wild Horse was worshiping through this. Michael had a word. He had something to say, and he said it. And that same night, Melissa came out. She had a word, and it became a little bit of a country service. A love service, a little bit of church. We say church in country music.
Good part of church.
Yeah. But I looked at Zeke and said, it would be great to record this for him. So it kind of started there, and the opportunity became available. My one and only, I call it my Journey Back to God album. It's called Journey On, and it turns 15 years old next month. And so we wanted to add 3 new songs. So it was a perfect opportunity to get it recorded, really. So it could have its own album now, but I'm still putting it on this record. So,
both and.
Yeah, but it could also go on Michael's. It could go on Melissa's record. It could go wherever you want it to go, and it needs to. But also, my hope was to get, as my friend who's brilliant, just to get him singing again, and just push him out of the work nest into the music nest.
That's such a beautiful example of leaning into abundant mentality versus scarcity mentality, though. You saying, I want to share the stage, I want to share my resources to bring Michael into something, is you leaning into abundance, and the world just needs more of that. And when we lean into that, look at the impact that it's making, like big and small decisions.
It's supposed to be that way.
When we first recorded this song, it was obviously in a small community, a small genre. A lot of your listeners may not even know of the Christian music genre. In Nashville, it's a big deal, and in your head, it can, when you're in it, you think, well, this is a big deal. But when you step outside of it, there is a much bigger world. But when we did record this song again, we were getting some negative feedback from people who had embraced the song years ago that did not want this song to be inclusive of everyone. And that was disheartening to me because music is art. And so this is our art. And no one has the right to say how we interpret art. Now, if you want to interpret it and keep it in that small box for yourself, that's fine. That's yours to interpret. But it is not your right to tell anyone else what that song means to them. Right. And so I've loved that this song has been let out of its box.
Absolutely.
And that it's inclusive of everyone, because that's God's love. Because if you do subscribe to Scripture, the overwhelming theme is not a suggestion. It is a commandment to love. The greatest commandment is to love. And so that is disheartening to me when I see some of these comments of, I was telling someone, in the middle of me being a good little evangelical boy spreading the evangelical message, I never had an agnostic person or an atheist say one unkind word to me. But the moment I open up this song to say that God loves everyone, that rubs some evangelicals the wrong way so much that I've never been spoken to so unkindly.
The monsters came out.
And that is just such an odd thing that people of a faith where the greatest commandment is love are being so unkind. And it's okay to disagree, but you can disagree with kindness.
Absolutely.
Well said,
wow.
sir. Yes.
Amen. Seriously.
You gonna tell us about this book?
Oh, this whole thing?
Come on,
I told
Ty.
these guys, I said, this has been a great moment, but I got to get back to selling books.
Let's talk about
It's turned a month old today, but yeah. So
Congrats.
it's,
Month old? Okay.
and you guys still are keeping it number one on Amazon, so thank you. But yeah, this is, I've said this, the purpose for this, if it's 100 years from now and it's sitting on a bookshelf and it ends up in somebody's hands that knows it will show them a way out and that they can make it, then that's the purpose for this. I can tell you that some things I didn't want to talk about, but working with the great David Ritz, who's Aretha Franklin, Willie Nelson, where he said that they never would open up. And so it took, Willie did, of course, but he said, Aretha's true story was told after she passed away, and there was freedom to tell. And I didn't want that. I'd been through too much. So what should have taken a year took 2.5 years. And
that's okay.
Like I said earlier, at the excavating cruise, they had to go really deep, and then finding enough courage to open the door once I got to the room. And this is what I found out. This is what love does. Love yourself enough to just go sit down in the middle of that room, because all of these experiences that you may have handled the wrong way, or bad things that have happened, how you handled them, there's nothing you're going to do to change that. But you can sit down with it, and you can bring your own peace to that room. And there's no forgiving anybody. There's no being forgiven. It's your journey with God. But God should give you the courage to go sit down and just say you're going to be okay. And then a lot of things opened up for me. at that point. I thought I had rid myself of shame, but shame is a normal emotion. And you just take it for what it is. But I found integrity in the shame. And that is probably the greatest thing that could have ever happened to me. And it was through this journey. It was not easy, but there's a lot of Southern humor in it. You know, that 10-year-old evangelical, that little 10-year-old evangelical who was called to preach at an early age, is the book starts with that. And and I was shamed. My first trauma one was an evangelical preacher. I guess he didn't like. I didn't think I was flamboyant. I was in my little leisure suit. I thought it looked pretty good. But he saw something in me that I now know that he saw it himself. And so, I mean, he was in my face, using words like homosexual and abomination. And I'm 10.
To a little guy sitting in a revival service.
Yeah, and I'm just, and my Pentecostal aunt, best Pentecostal hairdos you'll ever see in your life. She did. I was a shampoo boy at her salon. I don't know what she said to that preacher to this day, but I went from that little kid who wanted to preach and sing to I don't think I sang again for another year. After that, he made me feel so small, and I had to go at 10 years old. I had to learn what these words were, and this. Talk about the monster, but I never had to forgive the guy because I hated him longer than I hated anyone because I was too young for that. And Absolutely. It was a form of mental rape. And,
Damn.
But where I landed with it was in one of those rooms way later. I didn't love him, but a light came on in me. It's like, wait a minute. I don't know where he's at today, but he was battling those same demons. And they were too much for him at that age. And maybe in some small way, he was trying to warn me. Yeah. But I landed in a place of, integrity in it. And I no longer hate him. And I'm not going to give too much of this away. I want you guys to go buy the book. But it does have a really beautiful ending. I met my husband, and it was really up to him to tell his story because he's got a beautiful story as well. And we were just going to end it on my mental health journey, coming home to me, learning to love myself, because you can't love anybody else until you love yourself. And he came home on a Sunday afternoon. He goes, well, I just got off a 4-hour conversation with David Ritz. I said, so you're going to tell your story? And 5 minutes later, David Ritz called me. He goes, some enchanted evening. And that's the next to last chapter in the book. So I said, Alex, this means you can never divorce me.
Wow. That's so powerful.
Thank you guys for letting me even bring that up. But this has been, these last 3 weeks have been magical, really. No brakes have been put on. Lives have been changed. I've grown so much from it. Our friendships have grown, and who knows what's next? I don't know. Maybe a record for Michael. Maybe a book for Melissa. I think don't we have a book?
Those are definite. Those are not maybes.
Yes.
Those are definites.
You're getting
Some
that
way,
done this
somehow.
year.
Yeah.
This year.
Writing, singing, recording.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
And I would like to say that love and happiness looks good on all of us. But, he's you look better than you did back then,
He doesn't age.
He doesn't.
Let's just talk about it.
And he's got like abs and a waistline. I hate him for that.
Looking fine over there.
I've given up on that journey.
Stop.
Stop it.
Don't make me sing.
So let happy be contagious.
Yeah. And I think this is a beautiful reminder, not just our story, but you doing your podcast. Like, people being honest about their journey is not only sharing your own healing, but again, it gives opportunity for others to say, like, me too, I've been there too.
Right.
Okay, I can make it out of this too. And that's our hope. It's just to share more love.
It helps a lot of the shame
Yes.
too. So much for people hearing other stories. Yes.
So
I've been obsessed with you guys for weeks now. All 3 of you. I just
thank
love
you.
it.
We are you
it's
now.
It's just beautiful. Like I told you, even how it hits so deep for me. I hope that it does that for so many other people too. Obviously it has, you've seen it, but I really want everyone to hear this. And we'll put the link in the description. We'll put the link for your book, links to get to you guys,
Yeah.
you know, all social medias
Perfect,
and everything.
yes.
And we'll figure out how to put a clip on there.
There has to be a way, right?
Yes, there's a way. There's a way.
Where there's a will,
figure it
there's a
out.
way.
Even if it's on a reel, we'll do it.
Yeah.
But thank you guys.
Well, why can't we
you.
why can't the three of us just get around one microphone and just sing the chorus?
Oh,
I mean, I was going to ask, but I didn't know.
I mean, you singing the lead. That's too early for me. I'll do the. You do.
Kenna, you ready for this
It's your
one?
song.
Outtakes.
4, 1.
For as long as I shall live, I will testify to love. I'll be a witness in the silences when words are not enough. With every breath I take, I will give thanks to God above. For as long as I shall live, I will testify to love.